I don't talk much about wireless earphones because to me they are always a convenient solution to audio, and I'm not really that kind of person. I don't believe in convenience. Sonically, I always found that they were also kinda inferior to wired earphones. After all my hobbies include things that cause me pain, both physical and monetary. Spending cash on things such as wired earphones, film cameras, both are analog and significantly inconvenient. But the thing is, I also do acknowledge that there are days that I do not want to think and just want to listen to some good music very conveniently, and that's really where wireless earphones come in. Today we have the Soundpeats Engine 4, which is a rather new TWS earphone from Soundpeats. I found these kinda cool as it is a dual dynamic driver TWS, which really when you think about it isn't all that common. Also, these are a rather affordable pair when you compare to top-of-the-line TWS offerings such as the likes of Sony and Apple. So firstly, let's talk about the build quality. The battery case of the Engine 4 comes in a dark grey chrome color. It looks quite metallic, but really this is a plastic case. In hand, it feels rather light. It has minimal branding on the case, which Soundpeats only shows at the hinge. What I like about them is that the hinge is actually very solid feeling. When you lift it open, it feels like there is some resistance, adding a bit of premium-C to the feel, but on the whole, the case is rather light. So charging on the case is done via Type-C. It features quite an impressive additional 43 hours of charge time. Opening the battery case, you feel that there is some resistance to the case. This is quite unlike the AirPods Pro Gen 2, which I am quite used to, where it feels slightly dampened here. It feels a little bit more raw on the Engine 4, but it does work quite well as it will not close unexpectedly. Inside the case are the earphones as you might expect. I think the chassis is a simple design that has been elevated through beautiful triangle impressions on the side of it. The earphones are able to last about 12.5 hours, which is pretty respectable. What is interesting is that you are able to see the dual dynamic driver in coaxial configuration nearer towards the nozzle. The Engine 4 costs about $60 US, so they are certainly not in the same ballpark as flagships from Apple and Sony, and as such, to hold them to the same standards would not be applicable. But with that said, I do feel that the build quality of the Engine 4 is really quite decent. You still should not whack it with a hammer. When it comes to tech, the Engine 4 has all the latest goodies that Bluetooth audio can offer, including codecs such as LDAC, which is beneficial to all Android users who can utilize this should their phone also have the corresponding protocol. The Engine 4 also has the latest Bluetooth 5.3, which is more efficient and also supports multi-point connection, which is a feature that was previously found on the AirPods. Great to see that this ultra-convenient tech is now making its way to other products as well. The drivers used in the Engine 4 are quite interesting as they opted for a more audiophile approach by incorporating dual dynamic drivers, a 6mm DD plus a 10mm DD for bass. This isn't common in the TWS world where most brands would just choose to optimize a single DD. The Engine 4 does not feature active noise cancelling, which is quite common in the TWS realm, but they did design the ear tips to work quite well with passive isolation, as these do fit like a traditional IM rather than using weak seals that the AirPods Pro Gen 2 uses. The Soundpeats also now have an app that allows you to switch between two devices seamlessly. In the app, there is an EQ function, but I personally do not really like to dabble in that too much. Next, let's talk about sound. For sound, I think there is quite some finesse when it comes to the tuning of the Engine 4. They do have an audiophile-like sound quality when it comes to them. Gone are the days where TWS would mean that they have a mid-bass overload that blends itself to the mid-range and ensuring a very muddy listen. The Engine 4 features a modern V-shaped sound that has ample and satisfying low end that is well separated from the mid-range, ensuring vocals maintain a very crisp and clear signature. This is true paired with a slightly airy top end. Wireless still has that limited bandwidth compared to wired for days where you really want to choose convenience over absolute sound quality. The Engine 4 is actually really more than acceptable. It is still a little bit compressed sounding, but this is just a trade of TWS earphones. Bass. Bass is quite dynamic and resonant. It does have quite a classy sound. It is decently fast with a very nice resonance. Extension on bass is also expectable considering that this is a TWS earphone. I don't find the quantity of bass to be overwhelming, but it is a rather calculated approach and can suit many genres of music. Moving on to mid-range. Mid-range is slightly recessed compared to bass, but I still found vocals to be really clear, as we just tend to hear this frequency band easier anyways. Separation is also pretty good. You can hear the distinction between vocals and instruments quite clearly. Tonal weight is natural with just a touch of warmth. I really like how females' vocals sound on the Engine 4. It sounds very lively and natural. Details are also pretty satisfactory as well. Treble. Treble extension here is decent without abrupt peaks that ensures the Engine 4 to be a smooth listening experience. It's very calm sounding that extends very naturally. It also just gives a bit of an edge. This helps in separation in the mid-range and bass frequencies. So what was surprising to me is actually how clear they are, especially when it comes to more budget-focused earphones. I mean, it's quite often that you get a cheapy pair that sounds really awfully muffled on TWS earphones, but not on the Engine 4. Soundstage, for a true wireless earphone, the Engine 4 has good width and height separation. To me, they do sound decently wide, perhaps the size of a small jazz hall. Depth and positioning. Depth is good from the nice dynamics of bass. Positioning is natural sounding and you can really pinpoint where the instruments are coming from. So next, importantly, we need to compare them with some true wireless earphones. So I do own the AirPods Pro Gen 2, so let's compare it with that. I think that the AirPods Pro Gen 2 sounds more digital compared to the Engine 4, where it does most of its noise cancellation via ANC. This is different from the Engine 4, where it adopts more of a passive approach. As such, I do feel that the Engine has a more natural isolation. I do also think that AirPods Pro Gen 2 sounds more digital, but Apple has done it in a way where it's kind of natural as well, so it's a bit of a conundrum. I guess, well, Apple has a lot of tech and does all that tech heebie-jeebie. The Engine 4 does not have the same technical prowess as the Apple, but it does what it can with what it has. And I must say that for the price, it's really nicely balanced and perfect for someone who just wants something convenient. Conclusion. Honestly, I rather enjoyed the Engine 4 as it is a very agreeable sound, and for me, it will not really kind of replace my AirPods Pro Gen 2, but if I were to lose it or forget it to put it in my bag, this can be a seriously great deputy. For me, I do feel that it is quite impressive considering the price, especially in terms of sound, where quite a bit of the competition cannot keep up is really with regards to sonics. For me, if you're looking for a more affordable pair of earphones, this is one that you need to consider. Sure, it does not have the same level of tech as the AirPods Pro, but really it's priced quite a few times cheaper, and if sound is your focus, then this is it. With that said, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Supercharged Super Audio Show, where sometimes we talk about wireless earphones, just sometimes. So yeah, do check out these earphones out, as really I don't think that there is much more you can ask for at this price point. It is affordable and sounds rather decently good. With that said, thank you guys for watching. If you like content so far, please press the like and subscribe button somewhere down below. It will help me out a great bunch. Thank you guys and see you guys very soon.